All right, hi folks, and welcome to Dink and Dunk, a sports podcast named after Matt Nagy's playbook from guys who kind of know sports, but will act like you're wrong if we ever have different opinions. We're here to give you some snackable 20-minute sports bits to listen to on that commute from your bed to your living room with mostly Chicago sports-centric content. I'm Jim.
And I'm John.
This podcast is brought to you by Highbrow, Lowbrow, and odds are if you're listening to this podcast, you already know about them. If not, though, give them a peek on Instagram at Highbrow_Lowbrow_. All right, John.
It's good to be back. Only a week.
Only a week. I kind of like it.
And we got a special guest.
We have a special. You beat me to it. I couldn't even get it out of my mouth. Word on the street.
I'm so excited.
So we have, he goes by Dylan Corbett. You can find him on Spotify, YouTube, AMC.
Great Twitter
Apple
follow.
Music, Twitter.
Dylan_Corbett.
My dad's pocketbook, like everything. This guy's everywhere. He's getting his bets from him. I don't know. Just give him a peek. But I think Dylan could probably do a better job about, telling us a little bit about himself.
Yeah, appreciate the invite, guys. Great to be with you. Yeah, it's just Dylan. I spell it the right way, Dylan. Corbett, Corbet. And that's kind of, as you said, I do a little bit of everything. I started in sports talk and I just like information. So I kind of like, as soon as I got out of college, I was like, wait a second, you can make money just kind of reading up on businesses and doing the stock market. So I kind of hit different segments. Sports betting I've been obsessed with, since it's become super popular. And I kind of keep it in one space so you can just check it out. And it's like menu options for what you're into and what you're not.
So gambling on Tesla calls or gambling on, Bears money line, it all gets the blood flowing.
Kind of similar. Yeah. Similar, different, tricks of the trade, right? There's definitely analytics driven in both kind of things of research in sports betting and just trying to manipulate stock market, see where you can get some value.
I love it.
Heck yeah. And I think one of the biggest problems we are faced with today is, people can aggregate this data, but no one's got pipes like you, Dylan. I have to listen to some of your stuff, your voice, man. And I'm not just saying that either. I feel I'm a little jealous.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I have a face for radio, I've been told, growing up through it. The voice has blessed me, though.
Heck yeah. Well, let's put that thing to use. We'll get going on our Chicago sports roundup. Fun fact about Dylan, guys, is that he's actually from St. Louis. So I'm sure he's going to love
maybe he'll bring a little bit of unbiased takes on our Chicago sports teams.
I'll try.
We got the bear goggles on.
Yeah. So let's talk about a sport that you guys don't have anymore and go with the Bears and football. Wow. I'm going to assume that he's going to,
Wow. That was aggressive.
Straight to it. I mean, seriously, but that's facts. I'm a Falcons fan, unfortunately, so I suffer through that. Matt Ryan, I grew up idolizing, figured I'd follow him to the NFL. Hasn't worked out for me yet, but yeah, St. Louis fans, a lot of my friends from going to high school in St. Louis, they kind of either just stopped following a team and very few followed them out to LA. Like it was pretty heartbreaking. It's interesting.
Well, they kicked him right in the nuts, so I don't blame them for not following him unless they're into abusive relationships with Stan Kroenke.
And the reason why I mentioned that is because, like Dylan said, he's a Falcons fan, so he kind of bypassed a lot of that stuff. So
you're also into abusive relationships.
Yeah.
Oh man, every single week is one. It's just a punch. We're up 24-6 against the Saints, and a black eye. We're all of a sudden down 25-24. But hey, we salvaged it. Young Wei Koo, he's the best player on the team.
Yeah. Hey, that's pretty much where the Bears are at with Santos. That's right. That's
I don't know. Did you see that field goal?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, the Monday Night Football announcer said there's nobody better in football than this guy right now. I was like, oh my god.
Hey, speaking of Monday Night Football, and let's get right into. I mean, we can start with Justin Fields, but there's a bigger thing looming there. Fields look good. What do you guys think?
I mean, the nerds at PFF say he was the number one quarterback, and so I'll confirmation bias here. I'm all for it. Give me the stats that I want to hear, PFF. But he completed 7 balls, 15 plus yards down the field, which hasn't happened in 15 years for a Bears quarterback. It's been 15 years since we saw something like that. So it was electric.
You guys have a quarterback. I mean, you got to be happy about that. It's kind of like it was a win-win, right? Because your quarterback looked good, but you still lost. So Nagy still kind of takes the blame, right? Like, you got the quarterback, but you're in this love-hate relationship with your coach. You see the future, but you're stuck in the present. It's kind of a real tug and pull for you guys this year.
We can only hope that sooner than later they fire Nagy. I don't know.
Moral victories are real, if you ask me. And that last night was a moral victory because, I don't know, future's bright.
I'm shocked you guys aren't slamming the refs. I figured you would have lead with that, right?
Oh, we're getting there.
Yes. I got them all listed out right here. We got the missed call on James Daniel that erased the Jimmy Graham touchdown with like the chop block outside the box. We got the pass interference. We got the roughing the passer that was missed twice. And obviously the most ridiculous one of them all, which was like the Cassius Marsh taunting the Steelers sideline because he's just got a real like blue steel kind of
was that when he did like the samurai kick in the there was one of that too.
That's the same one. Okay, but he after the samurai kick, he had a really, I don't know, angry stare at the Steelers sideline, and then the ref stuck his ass out
too angry
and hip checked him and then flew a flag. It was the weirdest thing I think I've ever seen.
I didn't think a ref booty bump was going to be a real thing. And that I lost faith. I mean, I try not to think the NFL is a fixed sport. I still don't really think it is, but you see stuff like that and you're just like, all right, well, that's kind of weird.
That was the notion. Like, yeah, I'm into sports gambling. What's crazy is that the NFL is actually partnering with them. Before it was like, we can't touch it. We did DraftKings sponsorship. We don't want to touch it. Now it's plastered. I think it was back in like when we were in college, 2015 was when we all of a sudden saw all the DraftKings commercials when it was just daily fantasy. And then you saw that they kind of are a full blown sports book now. It's crazy to see that company career arc. I know Caleb at Bradley University, they came and like visited us and they were like, yeah, I think it was FanDuel. FanDuel was like, hey, this is what we are. And I was like, holy crap.
What was that visitation like? What was
they came and they're just like, hey, a lot of people like fantasy football. We have an app, which is Daily Fantasy. And it was just like, I was like, wait, I love fantasy football. I didn't know you could, kind of pick a different team every week and win money.
Was that in like the broadcasting school or like?
Yeah, the communications. Yeah,
I thought they came to like student center and we're like,
they threw a concert.
Chick-fil-A. Yeah,
look, right. I would donate plenty of money to like a crowd fund of paying the refs off if that if they were to legalize that in the NFL, I would be in.
If the refs are in on it, it's like, wait, how can I wish I was on the right side of the refs.
Just give the people a chance.
Just
let capitalism go to work.
Give us a little taste. That's enough to keep us betting.
That guy had big main character energy, though. Like he was like, "This is my football game. This isn't about the Bears Steelers."
That was tough.
What was the hip check? He literally, it was like he was purposely trying to get his attention and try and bump him off and show him up.
It was strange. It was so strange.
That was like comical. I feel like that's something you might see it was out of a movie. I couldn't believe it was
or
real.
A Buffalo Wild Wings commercial.
Yeah, someone
they should suspend it to OT.
Yeah.
All right. I think we've beat that enough on the Bears. It was
3-6.
They gave us hope. It was a golf game. You hit a couple good shots in the end.
Get the Lions in a couple weeks.
Coming back. That's what we need. God help us if we lose to the Lions.
There's always the Lions on the schedule.
Let's go here. Moving on to the Bulls. We mentioned before Patrick Williams.
Jim was at the game last night.
At the game.
This is the in-person analysis.
Yeah.
Here.
The Bulls got wind of our podcast. They said, "Hey Jim, we got to have you out here. Watch us play the Nets."
Why didn't I get anything for that?
Because in fact, they did not say any of that, and I just went myself.
They were like, "Who's your producer?"
Yeah.
But no, I will say, as a longtime Bulls fan, it was actually really fun to watch them be good and exciting. Ao Dosunmu, I don't know. It's kind of like the word anemone, but that guy from Illinois.
Hey, Dylan went to broadcasting school. He's probably got that pronunciation down.
I just call him Io. That's the secret to broadcasting. If you're not sure, you just kind of give them the one you're sure of. A little
stay in the wheelhouse.
Action.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I like that one. Yeah, okay, so Io.
Tricks of the trade.
He was electric. I know he came off the bench, but to the point where I think he was closing out most of the game. They ended up winning by double digits. Big match for everyone. Biggie Bagel won the race.
Woo, Biggie.
It's a great night. I had a blast. Kevin Durant had another low-key 40-point night. I don't know how he does that, but
it's crazy in the NBA. Like when your team is god awful, like it is so hard to care and just watch them each and every night. But when they're legitimately a top 10 team, it is so much fun. And I don't know. I think
Are we calling the Bulls a top 10 team?
I think so. I think so. They beat the Jazz and they beat the Nets, and I don't know. The Sixers gave them 2 good games, but I don't know. I mean, they're the top 5 in the East, I'd say.
I've actually taken a ton of flack from my Chicago friends because you guys are amped. You love you're signing everyone. You're getting a tattered DeRozan, who actually has been really good. Like, he's playing not just all-star, he's playing all NBA level right now. Yeah. Caruso's been fine. I mean, why are you giving him 17 mil? Like, someone threw that in my face. We got Caruso. I was like, what? And Vucevic has been terrible.
He has been bad. He looked bad yesterday,
but he was bad too. But here's the thing, again, too, is the Bulls. I thought they weren't a playoff team, and you guys they've proven me wrong so far. Losing back-to-back games against the 76ers is not a good look. But then you come up and you talked about the fourth quarter last night against the Nets. KD's doing his thing. He's looking like an MVP candidate without Kyrie. James Harden's been terrible since they changed the rule, directly impacting him. But that's a game the Bulls lose last night, and they had a dominant fourth quarter performance to really win a promising home game.
Look, I mean, for the past, since Derrick Rose left, it's almost like you can only beat the Cavs, the Magic, the Kings on any given night in the NBA. Now we can beat good teams, maybe not every single night, but we're beating them, which, we haven't been able to say in forever.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. They scored points and it looked cool when they did it. So
you guys are saying you're sold on the team, not just fly in a pan. This is a playoff team this year under Billy Donovan.
I think it's a playoff team.
Yeah, I mean, you're like, if you the DeRozan signing, granted, Bleacher Report called it the worst signing of the offseason. Maybe you did too. I don't know, Dylan, but
I wasn't high on it. But yeah, he has been great.
Yeah, he's if he can keep it up, and him and Levine can get, they're pretty much the best scoring duo in the league. I think statistically they are, but I don't know, if they stay hot, I don't see why not.
I mean, look, I feel like this is very similar to honestly, like, pickup basketball logic, right? If you get to an extent, if you have more than one all-star on your team, odds are is that when you play another team, they're not going to have as many good defenders that can match up against all of them. So DeMar DeRozan is directly benefiting from the fact that Zach LaVine is getting attention. Lonzo Ball, he kind of gets attention. But basically, I feel like when DeRozan was on the Spurs, he was getting the best defender. And yeah, he doesn't have all of it anymore, but he has enough to where, hey, put your second best defender on me and I'll probably get you 20 points.
Yeah. Plus, Vooch has been playing like shit. So if he can become an all-star again,
he's been brutal.
I think this team actually has some upside to it.
I like Io off the bench too. You brought him up. Like, every time I look up, he's having a good game off the bench. He's not in 6 man of the year territory, but hey, keep it up. That's a productive player rookie season.
Sure. Yeah, take it.
Love to see it for a second rounder.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Bulls are done.
Talk.
I think we're just gonna skip over the Sox and the Cubs. Just one note for the Blackhawks, and it's a fantastic note. They fired Jeremy Colleton. So right now, I believe we just have interim coach. Is it Derek King?
Just Derek.
No
last name.
I think it was Derek King. Derek from Step Brothers is going to be the head coach of the Chicago Blackhawks. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know. This is big. Colleton has been their coach for a little over 3 years, I think, and it's been abysmal. So with expectations higher this season, Colleton kind of shit the bed. So we'll see what happens. And that's about all I got for the Hawks.
I one note on that, since you fired your coach, 1-0, right? I've been fading the Blackhawks like no tomorrow all season long. It has been profitable. And then I continued the game after they fired their coach, and of course they come out and win.
Hey, I will.
That changes
honestly,
the betting
I think
model.
that strategy is still going to pay off in the long run. But yeah, it was good to see the first win under the new coach. I don't know, man.
That's all I got.
Cool.
So should we get to the main segment, the main dinner, if you will, the main meal? So as it is, I think yesterday was officially the mid-season point of the NFL season. Sadly, don't smile because it happened. Don't be sad. It's over.
What?
But I think that's the term. I think, yeah, we're gonna look that up. So we're gonna have a little kind of award show, midseason award show, Thanksgiving style, given we are a couple weeks out. It's November, feeling good, Turkey Day. So we're going to have a few different awards. We'll say it, and then we'll go around the horn and just say who we got for each. How's that sound, boys?
Love it.
Sounds great.
So the first award is kind of the Overcooked Turkey Award, kind of the Christmas vacation. You plug right into it, or you slice into it with a knife, and it just goes steams out. So that is the most disappointing. You can take a player, coach, organization, what have you, storyline. I don't really care. The rules are open-ended there. So why don't you kick us off, Dylan?
Sounds good. Most disappointed for me has got to be the Washington football team. I mean, we were talking about Super Bowl defense last year when they were in the playoffs, always a weak division in the NFC East. You've got like just a great defensive line, and you get Fitzmagic, then he gets injured. You come out, you can barely win games, let alone cover them. And the defense has been the main disaster. So, I mean, just disappointing year over year. Ron Rivera, he's battling cancer. You're kind of rooting for the guy, and it's just been a disaster for that football team. So that's got to be one of the most disappointing storylines.
Yeah. And I mean, it's weird because from a fantasy football perspective, I was going into the season, I was like, okay, who's playing the Redskins? Probably don't want to have too many of those guys that play them twice. And now I'm like, all right, give me anyone that plays the Redskins, any
the
DFS.
Team. It's the team.
Did I say Redskins? Yeah. I meant to say football team.
Bleep that out.
WFT.
Please. Yeah.
WFT.
It's been a year, we're always, it's like the San Diego Chargers. That took us a year as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of
forget,
I mean, I'm pretty sad. It would have just been fun to see Fitzmagic play on this team just because he's, it's red zone with Fitzmagic is must watch TV.
I'll take it from there. I picked another team that's been super disappointing, and that's ironically the Chiefs. So, I mean, we're sticking with the tribe here, but I don't know that something's changed. I want to still think that Mahomes is really good, but he's thrown almost as many picks this season as he has in any of his other seasons. Actually, probably more, I think, at this point. Their defense is atrocious. That is not a secret anymore. And then lastly, I don't know about you guys, but on top of all of this, you just deal with Jackson Mahomes, just doing whatever he does. And I feel bad for Patrick because you just got to deal with that shit every day.
Imagine sucking and then your little brother does that to you. But people are asking though, redraft of the Mahomes Trubisky draft. Are you taking Trubisky at this point?
No, I don't think I am.
Okay.
What people are you talking to?
I don't know. The talking heads on ESPN, that's what they're saying.
I mean, you're not taking Nuru Watson, so it's either going to be Mahomes Watson, or it's going to be Trubisky.
They were all busts. So I'm going to take kind of a bust of my own. I'm going to go with Zach Wilson, the second overall pick. He's just like, at this point, you're the Jets. Like, I think you abandoned ship. There's nothing to tell you that this guy can get it to, and most people show it's year one. And if you don't show it, like, it's guys really aren't hitting second, third, fourth year anymore in the NFL. So unless they sit out the whole year. So I'm almost at the point where you just go back to the drawing board. But maybe you guys can convince me to, keep him. I don't know.
I was never a Zach Wilson guy. I fully believe that teams drafting people have it's like the Minnesota Timberwolves, my neck of the woods. I think just because they selected Anthony Edwards, they doomed his career. He could have been the best player ever if he just wasn't selected by the Minnesota Timberwolves.
He doesn't like basketball. That's his problem.
Right. But yeah, again, so Zach Wilson is kind of just like, what's an indictment on him is look at what the offense is looking like without him, with guys like Mike White and Josh Johnson. I mean, it's like, okay, why you've got apparently weapons. Michael Carter's been an insanely good rookie for you in the backfield. What's going on with you, Zach Wilson? And did you see the headline where they like randomly signed a coach, a personal coach for Zach Wilson, like to the team? I think it's like former quarterback John Beck or something, but it's a personal coach for Zach Wilson. As it's just a bizarre scenario going on because it looks like he's lost his job.
Interesting. He might get the Ben Simmons. I'm not mentally ready to come back and play football when he comes back.
Right.
Yeah, I don't
mean, he's in the least forgiving city in America too to be a bust of a quarterback. So God bless.
Yeah, true that. Dylan hit the nail on the head with literally 2 other quarterbacks lower in the depth chart came in and just had themselves a time. And the Jets offense looked good. So I don't think that sentence has really been muttered very much, but
what did
it's
you
true.
Say?
I think it was 2 weeks ago. Mike White was the first Jets quarterback in like 14 years to throw 400 yards. Like how?
I got to say the NFL is more fun when the Jets are good, but that hasn't been all that much in our lifetime.
I mean, give me a fan base that has just been pent up for so long and just let them go.
Actually, maybe not with that fan base. All right, let's move on to the next one. This is the stuffing award. So this is all reliable. They are who we thought they were. Who's your player, coach, organization that's playing to what we all thought they were going to?
Tampa Bay. They brought back every single starter on offense and defense. Everyone's going, wait a second, what? Are they really going to do it again? Brady doesn't age. He's up there for MVP. He's leading the league in passing touchdowns. He had a bye week. And NFL carnage this past weekend, too. It was like the Bucs having a bye was as good as a win because they're the best team in the NFL. They have one of the easiest schedules remaining, and they're going to coast, I think, to stealing a 1 seed, and then good luck trying to beat Brady in the playoffs, especially when he's at home.
True that. Can't argue that.
No, I don't really want to say my stuffing award anymore. Dylan just had a really good one. So
do you want to just pass?
No, I guess mine's so my stuffing award is going to be Pete Carroll. Look, man, you get the same thing every time. And I love the guy. You get ambiguity around injuries, ambiguity around players that the Seahawks may or may not be trying to get. And my favorite part is the amount of gum that guy chews. I mean, he is just going. He is going.
Can we not get a prop bet on the number of gummy sticks he eats in the game?
Dude, it is amazing.
Yeah,
and it's like it's not the. I feel like I could hear how he would sound, like when he's chewing his gum. Like he is kind of like your 3rd grade gym teacher. You know, that's all I got.
Yeah, we don't talk about my 3rd grade gym teacher. So I kind of had another team in the NFC actually, and that was the Rams. Just, the kind of the all-star squad. They did lose this past Sunday, but I mean, I think they look as good as anybody. I think they beat the Bucs this year in their one matchup. So, if Aaron Donald's playing and they added Von Miller, I mean, they got as good as chance as anybody. Stafford looked bad last week, actually, but they are who we thought they were.
Yeah, I agree. This is a team that made the Super Bowl with Jared Goff, 2-3 years ago. Now they've got actually a capable quarterback back there. You said if Von Miller didn't play, Tennessee's good. You kind of just throw that game away. You had the crazy, Stafford looked bad because he was getting tossed in the end zone and he decided to throw it, not unlike Carson Wentz, and he had the pick 6.
Don't be a hero.
Just throw that game away. The Rams are still going to be good. The only worry there is that they're going to have to go through the Cardinals to look legit even without their quarterback, as Colt McCoy, flash in a pan comes back and, destroys the 49ers. But I love the Rams this year. Got to root for Sean McVay too. He's a good player coach.
Absolutely. So 3rd award, we call this the Weird Uncle Award. Kind of makes you feel uncomfortable at Thanksgiving. You hope the conversation's short and you move on. So that's kind of, we thought they were bad, then they still are bad.
Yeah, 2 words, Sam Darnold. What were we doing there?
That was actually my second choice. We almost had
that was my choice too. So take it away, Dylan.
Unanimous.
I mean, I'm sure we all have great points here. It's just as, he's good. It was just the Jets. Well, look what the Jets offense, as aforementioned. Robbie Anderson finally gets away from him, and all of a sudden they trade for him, and he can't get a ball now. He's barking at him on the sideline. He hasn't thrown a touchdown in 3 weeks. He's got 11 picks on the year. What are we doing with this guy? He's terrible. He's exactly who we thought they were. And I guess, I'm biased as a Falcons fan, but I always thought the Panthers were trash. And lo and behold, we're not the doormat of the NFC South.
I feel like Josh Rosen just, that meme Spider-Man, with holding the picture in bed, looking longingly. Yes. It's like, why couldn't I just been Sam Darnold, where people thought maybe I will be good for 5 more years instead of just being thrown to the dogs.
Every night, Josh Rosen looks at Sam Darnold.
We kind of look alike. Why couldn't I just been him?
Yeah,
he's always been below average, but the last 2 years he's been terrible.
You give Sam, like, honestly, I started to fall for it at the beginning of the season. I was like, Sam Darnold, new team. You literally have the best player in the NFL in Christian McCaffrey that you can just dump the ball to, and things were moving, but players get hurt. The drop off was insane. I mean, honestly, PJ Walker looked better than him, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets the start.
So I won't do Darnold, but I don't know if you guys are ready to give in on them like I am, but it's the Bengals. I think it was all just a little bit thinly layered there. Those victories, Bears beat them. That's not a great look. And last week was an absolute tragedy. So I just can't see them being a good team. I don't know.
I agree. It's just, McCaffrey, once he went out, they've lost every single game. They actually, of course, beat the Falcons in just obviously the most Falcons way possible. But I don't know. Matt Rule, you got Joe Brady. Matt Rule, his first year in the NFL, he had he drafted every single defensive player. And then Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator from LSU, what did he see in Darnold? He was better off keeping Teddy Bridgewater. I don't understand the Panthers.
Wait, yeah, I was like, wait, he just said Bengals, and you just went on a beautiful Panthers.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was
good. Totally, it was articulate.
Yeah, no, we hate it's all right. No, the Panthers. Screw the Panthers.
Yeah. Let's just double down on Panthers.
I'll take this one because I have the Bengals going somewhere else in this, and I don't think the Bengals are that bad. I think, and I'm gonna save some of my points, but I mean, Jamar Chase has worked out really well. Their offense is clicking. I mean, their defense has always been.
Is it though?
I think it is.
See, that's why I blocked it out, because I got my Bengals as big as surprise. I got
okay.
A little later
I was going to say,
are on the same page.
Look, we can't. If we agreed on everything, this would be a really boring episode. So let's move on, because you guys are starting to gang up on me here. This is the Thanksgiving Nap Award. So a team that is currently slumbering, that is about to go the fuck off. So you know what? I'm just going to take this one.
Yes.
I got my Cleveland Browns here. They came out hot last week. They got rid of Odell. I honestly think he was a huge problem, just because he's a bit larger than life as far as the NFL goes, and his personality and kind of just the nickname. And the defense can be elite. And if the run game's working, which I know Chubb has COVID as reported today, but
grab your Ernest Johnson if you haven't.
If they can run the ball and play defense, and Baker can make a few throws, I think they can beat anybody in the AFC, which I like them at plus 1,600 to win the AFC. It's a lot of value there.
Like that. On the Browns, I think getting rid of OBJ was a good thing. I mean, the stats were all out there. Baker Mayfield and him just did not connect, and they felt like they had to force it to him because he's OBJ. He ruined the Giants when he was there. He ruined the Browns while he was there. We'll see where he goes.
Hopefully he ruins the Packers. That's
right. Exactly right. Team about to break out. I wonder what you guys think about this. Seahawks. Good defense, good offense. Nobody talking about them because Russell Wilson and Chris Carson got injured. Geno managed to go 1-2. Great. Guess who's coming back this week? Wilson and Carson. At Lambeau this week, Packers. Rodgers went on Pat McAfee today. Still not sure if he's coming back. Tried to walk back some of his statements.
What did he say today?
It wasn't great. That's been the story, of course. Packers lose with Jordan Love, who I didn't think looked great.
Real bad.
Yeah, didn't Rodgers? I think was it today? He went on and said that like he was sad and mad of people's reactions to his initial.
Yeah, he was like, I didn't mean to mislead you. I may have misled you. It's like, yeah,
I may have.
Did.
I don't know what I think about the Seahawks. They just they're just too far down there in the NFC West, and their division's so hard. It's just tough.
Here's my only thing there is with the 7 playoff spots, 6 and 7 are wide open right now. You know why? Because Atlanta's locked in for the 7th.
True.
That's not happening.
That's definitely the Nickelodeon game right there. Whatever Atlanta's playing in.
Slime time.
Right. I mean, that's a good defense, and we'll see. Russell Wilson, it's hard to always count him out. With that extra game this year, right? We're playing 17 games. I wonder if you see maybe geez, what are we doing the math now? Like an 8-9 Seahawks team kind of sneaking the playoffs.
Hey,
I like it.
Playoffs are better with Russ Wilson in it.
The guy just wins. He's fun to watch. He also makes Tyler Lockett a lot better, which I can appreciate. I'm gonna go with a pretty predictable Thanksgiving nap award. I'm gonna my team that's currently slumbering. I'm gonna go with the Bears. And this is from the viewpoint of, yes, I'm a Bears fan, but also I think the whole organization's coming to a boiling point to where we kind of just saw, like, yes, everyone knows that Nagy needs to be fired. Yes, we just saw what happens when you give Justin Fields more autonomy on the field. I think that something's got to give when push comes to shove here, and it's either people are going to move or it's going to be, okay, let's open this all up and let's see what the Bears can do, because their defense is still good. I think their offense wakes up a lot more, and with Montgomery back, I think a lot of things change the rest of the season.
Nagy's going to go ahead and save his job, though, which would be sad.
Man.
Don't you ever say that. It's almost like I want them to lose tragically. No, I like that. Go Bears. So next award is kind of the drunk aunt award. Like, she's about to start a fight. Who knows? She's about to gossip. Basically she's a wild card. She's an 8-ball. Who's your biggest surprise here?
So I went with the Bengals, as aforementioned, just because the offense and defense kind of transformed. Like, this one from a bad team, Jamar Chase, everyone's talking about it. Are they going to go pen a stool to protect their quarterback? No, they're going to have their quarterback throw touchdowns every week to Jamar Chase's buddy. Look, I kind of agree with you too. I don't think they're playoff bound. I think they have a veil around them where, they're going to win some games and then lose some games because they're still young. I liken them to the Cardinals from last year. Same team, making some noise, just missed the playoffs, and now they break out this year. I think that's the Bengals. Fringe team, loaded division right now. I mean, even the Steelers are going to be hanging around. But I think the Bengals really coming out party is going to be next year. Everyone's just, I feel like speaking of Spider-Man meme, the AFC North is just looking at each other, pointing at each other, all four teams.
I was just looking at the standings there too. And my pick was also the Bengals, but I mean, yeah, the Ravens are 6-2, and then you literally have the Steelers, Browns, Bengals with all 5 wins.
Right. Look at the Ravens record though. They were a record-breaking field goal away from losing to the Detroit Lions. They've had some crazy games.
Yeah, the Bears play them in a couple weeks, and I'm not, like, I probably should be scared, and I'm definitely have bear goggles on, but, like, I don't think that's a game we can't be within a score at the end of a game and see what happens. I don't know.
Yeah, they've been in OT 3 times, which is crazy.
Yeah. That Ravens defense isn't quite the Ravens defense I think we're all used to.
Right.
Well, then our last award is the Turducken, your Super Bowl pick. And we can't all agree, or else this will suck.
All right. Well, I'll start with mine, and my Turducken award is going to be the Los Angeles Rams. It's not the boldest pick, but I mean, to me, it was either them or the Bucks, and for reasons of you. I mean, the teams are fairly similar in my mind. Like, you have a stud D line. Your defense is great. Your offense, you have so many weapons available to you. Both teams have veteran quarterbacks. I mean, yeah, Tom Brady's better than Matt Stafford, but Stafford's been around the block, and McVay and Arians, like, I lean slightly towards McVay just because he's a younger dude, and I like where his head's at, but I like the Rams. I think they're due.
Younger the coach, the more likely you are to win the Super Bowl. You heard it here first.
I'll take the other team there. It's chalky. I laid a C note on it today. Bucks at plus 550. I think that's great value because they're the favorite, but they're also, I think the Bills are right behind them, plus 600. Look, Tennessee's leading the AFC right now, which is kind of crazy. And I think they might get that 1 seed because they have the statistically easiest remaining schedule, and they're in the easiest division. But, something about Tennessee, I just don't know. Is Derrick Henry going to come back? Ravens are going to be there. I think the Bills break through this year because I think you throw out that Jacksonville game. That's just, you knew something was weird about that. The Manning curse, if you guys have heard about that, that's been crazy. Every guest that's gone on has went on to lose. So I think it's going to be Bills Bucks. I like the Bucks to take it. I think the last time we've had a Super Bowl repeat champion was Brady and the Patriots. Let's see if it's Brady and the Bucks.
Brady gets what, his 7th? Is that what it is?
I think it would be 8th.
Eighth?
I don't even know at this point.
Jeez. All right. Well, I can't count that high. So I got, I got the best team in the league. Just going to follow the records. We'll just go Cardinals. Why not? I mean, they can go toe to toe with anybody and I think they can beat Tom Brady or Matt Stafford in a shootout if it comes to it. And that defense is legit. I'd say it's just as good as, if not better than the Rams and the Bucks aren't healthy, so it's tough to say, but defense, Chandler Jones is a freaking stud. So
right.
We'll see.
I agree. Yeah.
So then we're going to go a few, that's the awards, but then we're going to go Corbet's bets. We're just going to get some of our favorite futures. So give us your favorite over under win total.
This was one I locked in at the beginning of the season. It is laughable looking back at it. I took the Detroit Lions under 5, hammered it. And are they going to win one? I mean, I've been licking my chops watching Dan Campbell cry, yell, it's been awesome. The Lions can't get out of their own way.
That is actually so I'm looking at the live over under win total, and I liked under Lions 1.5 at plus crazy. 110. If you look at their schedule, the best chance they have is to beat the Bears. Otherwise, they have a pretty tough schedule. I think probably the Vikings. So look, can the Lions really win 2 games the rest of the way? I just don't see it.
Yeah, that's interesting too. I haven't looked at the updated win totals. Were there any that kind of caught your eye that were startling, not unlike that one?
They have the Bears at 5.5, which so they and it's pretty even on both sides. So
the totals are pretty good. Like I tried to look for one that I would take, and one that I liked was Colts over 8.5 wins right now. So I think they're at 4. Look, the Colts are a couple games. They were a field goal away from winning. And
big Carson Wentz guy.
I mean, look, Carson Wentz is serviceable. They got a good O-line. Finally, Jonathan Taylor is the guy back there. And I think Michael Pittman's came out. He's emerged. And look, I'll start with the bad. Some of the remaining games, they play the Bills and the Cardinals on the road, right? But here's where it gets better. They play Jacksonville twice. They play Houston once. They play Oakland at home and the Pats at home. They also have the Bucks at home. But before that, it's 3 very winnable games, 5 that they should probably win.
Right.
I hate it because I hate Carson Wentz.
All right, whatever, dude.
We're gonna go a little fire around here. We're gonna go MVP.
Yes.
Dylan?
Right to me. Sorry. Okay. MVP. I've got it. Talked about this last week, and now I saw it today on ESPN.com. It's their pick, Matt Stafford. I grabbed him at plus 550. He had the poor performance on Sunday Night Football, but he's still leading the leagues in passing yards. I actually took both of that, MVP and passing yards. I think he's like 9 yards per attempt, which is almost at the top of the NFL. He's got weapons for days. Higbee, Woods, Kupp. They got rid of Jackson because they couldn't get him the ball. Van Jefferson, Henderson Jr. Taylor, kind of on your Rams note, I think if the Rams continue playing well, Stafford does as well. And it's a quarterback driven award. Henry might have stolen some votes had he stayed healthy, but I think it's going to be Stafford, Brady, Kyler Murray. Those are my top 3 right now. And I think Stafford at a good price.
Absolutely. Jim?
I'm gonna go with Lamar Jackson at plus 1,100. Look,
good value.
I think the value's there. I think that team operates. If he's not doing well, that team's not doing well. And I'd argue his passing has taken a step forward for whatever that's worth. But I mean, the guy he's still rushing. He just tied Michael Vick's rushing mark against the Vikings. I mean, he's fun to watch, man. And that team, like I said before, I mean, it goes up and down with them.
All right, I'm going to go a little bit less chalky. And instead of buying Cum Rocket coin, you should buy Jamar Chase at plus 50,000.
Jeez, man. I think I'd rather take Cum Rocket.
No, you want a 50 at 500X or whatever that is? Let's say Jamar Chase just goes the hell off. I don't know. 50,000. He's a stud. He could have like a Randy Moss type season. Who knows? The rest of the way. You guys are Bengals guys, so let's
I'd chalk him in for rookie of the year. I don't know if I'd go that far.
Hey,
for MVP,
it's a long season.
Maybe Joe Burrow gets hurt and Jamar Chase takes over the quarterback.
Trying to add a little spice here.
I like it. That made me laugh.
Yeah,
so
put a dollar in. Just see what happens.
That's a retirement bet. If I had one of those today, I put Wisconsin for college basketball. It's kind of like there's no way this hits, but it's too good odds.
That's what I'm saying. Take your Cum Rocket money and put it into.
The last non-QB quarterback to win the award was Adrian Peterson in 2012, bro.
Bingo.
Randy Moss would have won it in like.
When was the last
Tom
receiver,
Brady?
Caleb? When was the last receiver?
Oh, I'm not that fast at typing.
Maybe Randy Moss. No, Randy Moss did win it that year where he went. It was ridiculous.
It was. Wait,
or did he not win it? Did Pat?
Wait,
I wonder if there hasn't been
wide
one.
receivers never won.
That's a shit bet.
Yeah, okay, good. I was like reading all these answers, and it just says, I can't find a name. I
guess if he goes off, then Joe Burrow wins the MVP. I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. It's too
he
hard.
gets no credit. All right, so coach of the year.
Yeah. I've got Mike Vrabel. I think it's going to be the Tennessee Titans coasting to the 1 seed in the AFC. I like Vrabel. He's kind of like Belichick. He tries to do some weird stuff. He's just smart with the game of football. You saw watching the game, I guess it was Sunday Night Football, when Jalen Ramsey got that second penalty, and all of a sudden it was Vrabel clicked and was like, wait a second, isn't he second unsportsmanlike? Isn't he supposed to get kicked out? And then the refs had some like BS with like, no, that was a personal foul. This was unsportsmanlike. But he's just smart like that. He's been in the playoffs a couple of times now. He's doing it with Tannehill, created a good defense, and I think the easiest schedule remaining is going to lead this to being Mike Vrabel's award.
Once again, Dylan, I also had Mike Vrabel for a lot of those points. I mean, I honestly
get a room, you two.
I think I think a lot of it's going to have to do with. I think the Titans are going to keep winning games, and like you were saying, they have an easier schedule. But I think a lot of it's going to be attributed. The storyline in my mind is going to go, oh well, they don't have Derrick Henry. Vrabel's getting it done without him, and yeah, I think they're gonna end well, and he's going to get it.
Well, I'm just going to go ahead and take the favorite here. Cliff Kingsbury plus 300.
That's right.
They like guys that, I don't know. I feel like the writers tend to get guys that kind of come out of nowhere, right? Like Vrabel's just it's too respected. They like, Matt Nagy won it when I don't know, he probably wasn't the best coach that year, but he came out of nowhere and put together a decent Bears team a couple of years ago. So just for the sake that Cliff Kingsbury wasn't respected before this year, that's why I lean towards him. And then our last but not least, we have kind of near our to Duck an award, but Super Bowl based on odds value. So you can give or take, based on where you think there might be some value there to bet on.
Yeah, as aforementioned, I kind of like the Bucs at this number. And if they get there as the number 1 seed, it kind of gives the option to hedge out too. I just think it's Bucs Bills. I don't know. It might be too chalky, but I just think that's the way it's going to shake out.
I kind of rode the Lamar narrative. I as a stretch, I think their odds are either 1,100 or 1,200 right now. I took the Ravens. I don't know. I would like to go a little more chalky, but I think if a team's going to kind of pull it off, it could be the Ravens, and just with the Lamar factor of he can get it done on the ground whenever you need him to.
All right. Lamar in the playoffs. Jimmy's betting on Lamar Jackson in the playoffs. That's give him his number to your bookie, and so he'll be a happy man.
It's a long-winded joke, but I appreciate it.
I thought it was very well executed.
Very well executed. Very well, I'm trying to read, and so here we go on my Super Bowl pick. I'm just going the Cardinals again. I don't know.
Get out of here, dude.
I'm just loving the Arizona Cardinals. Like they got Kyler Murray's just electric. I don't think we've seen a quarterback like him in a while. Like he's way better than Lamar Jackson at throwing the ball, and a decent enough runner.
What's interesting
plus
1,000,
it's pretty decent odds for the best team, best record in the league.
I agree with you. I mean, they're a great team. What's so funny about them, and I've actually been in the stadium, is, if they do get a home game, Phoenix is, you got people from the East Coast and up north, living there during the winter. Like, it's not, you don't have too many diehard Cardinals fans. When you go there, it's always the opposing tem showing up. So that could be interesting in the playoffs. But yeah, this Cardinals team is so fun to watch.
True that. Well, I think that wraps up the Thanksgiving Awards show.
Yeah. Before we give our generic outro, Dylan, you just want to remind the folks again where they can find you, and again from John and I, just thanks for hopping on the podcast, man. This is awesome.
Thanks for coming on.
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, I kind of do the same thing. It's just Dylan Corbett. I do sports talk. Just kind of like to kick it around and hear different voices and opinions, just like you guys hear. And if you are interested in checking out different stuff like entertainment, we do a pop culture podcast every week. That's pretty, entertaining and whatnot. And finances aforementioned. And then you could just find everything under Dylan Corbett, Dylan_Corbett on Twitter.
I have to remind you that Mizzou covered 40.5. I think you had
oh my God,
that's one of your things to hammer, and they covered by 3.5. It was a lock.
What happened was Georgia is I think they were within the 10 and they chose to kick the field goal instead of going for the touchdown and rip my heart apart. Mizzou,
I'm not sorry to hear that. Yeah,
it was atrocious.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all we have today, folks. Join us next time for some more questionable takes on Chicago sports. If any of this doinked your goalpost, then please like and subscribe on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and to check us out on Highbrow, Lowbrow.
All right. This has been a Highbrow, Lowbrow podcast. Check us out at our website at highbrow-lowbrow.com. And as always, check us out on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and more. Highbrow, Lowbrow. All bros welcome. Also, we got swag. Get this hat. It's dope.
Woo!
Yeah.
Swaggy.
Swag. Swaggy. Yes. All right.
You gonna end the recording?
Yeah, okay. For sure.